Hi, Jon Bushey again, talking about our 7-ton truck. For those of you that don't know, the U.S. military, specifically the Marines for the most part, are selling 7-ton trucks now. So you can get them as just a civilian. I've had 3 of them, and this is the one I'm currently working on. And I like to take the trucks apart, or at least check as many things as I can, because they don't tell you everything that's wrong with them. And in this case, we have a big problem. So we've been going around replacing the hub seals, which are back there. They've been leaking oil. And so in order to get to the seal way back there, you start on the front and you take things off until you can access the seal back there, and we'll replace that. So they're all-wheel drive vehicles. And so the axle ends, or the hubs, all are drive hubs. And that's what we have here. So when we took it apart, I first noticed, hey, what happened to this bushing here? It looks like it's all burned and everything. And I thought, man, that's weird. I've never seen that before. Then I happened to look in, I call this part the hat. It's the hub end. And it has a bunch of gears in here, and then this gear fits on here. This is the drive gear. So it's turning from the drive shaft. And then these 4 gears pick up that power and transfer it to this, which then transfers it to the tire. Well, then I started looking at this gear, and this gear is kind of smashed up, and it's got a lot of damage to it. And I thought, man, what's going on here? So then I looked in there. And this is where you can see the real damage. So I don't know what happened, but this got really, really hot in there. You can see the burn marks. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is a new one. It's rusty because it wasn't stored properly. But this is what it should look like. And then you come back here, and not only is it all black and burned and everything, but a lot of scoring all over the place. And so something bad happened. Maybe they ran it without oil. These are oil bath, and sometimes it's a grease end. Sometimes it's oil bath. These are oil bath. So maybe they didn't run it with oil and it burned up. This also was stuck down there, and I had to rip this out. It was like welded in there. Oh, and by the way, these are 2 separate parts, but they're welded together now. And you can see they're supposed to be 2 separate parts, and this one should have more space. It should have that much space on it. So somehow these 2 got pressed together, and they got welded together due to the heat, and they're not supposed to be black like this either. So something bad happened. And there's a part missing too. There's supposed to be a part down in there. I've got new parts. This part is supposed to be down in there, and these are little roller bearings. I don't know what happened to that. I'm unable to find it anywhere. So either they forgot to put this in when they put this all together, or they ran out of oil, or this thing just self-destructed and ended up going all over the place. And that would explain why this gear has a bunch of damage to it here. Maybe those roller bearings just exploded in there and it scratched everything up. I couldn't find any pieces or anything in here, but Lord knows how many times the Marines have changed the oil. Maybe the oil drained out with all the pieces. So yeah, I think even though a lot of these other parts look really nice, maybe that's because the bearings blew up in there and sand blasted everything until it's really nice and pretty. But I don't want to reuse this again. It's too much damage and everything. The parts are no problem. You know, they still all spin. Everything seems good. So I got a new hat, and we'll use this one instead. The Army, when they stored it, they didn't store it very good, so it's a little bit rusty, but everything in here is fine too. Everything works. And most importantly, I have the new parts that go in here. So these 2 parts go down here, and maybe that's what this part is. I'm not sure. So that one goes in there. It doesn't want to fit very good. Then this one goes on top of that. And then this gear part, we'll replace this too because this one's all screwed up. This has a separate part and that goes in there. And because this goes on to the end of the shaft in there, this then would go down on top of that stuff. And just so all the haters and stuff out there, yes, the Army does use the 7-ton trucks. It's part of the HIMARS resupply. And so, yes, the Army does have these trucks, and I got these parts from the Army. I guess they realized they were storing them wrong and they were a little bit rusty, and so they just sold them. So that's where I got these parts from. And I have more. If you need some of these parts, I have a bunch of parts. It's interesting, too, that, boy, when it burned up in there, this part fits in here really tight. See, it won't really move. It turns, but it won't really move. If I take it and put it into this one, look, it's moving. So somehow this gear got bigger. Maybe because it exploded and got hot. And yeah, I have no idea what this thing is. This thing should be this, but it looks a lot thinner. And then this thing, I guess that's down there, but it's completely different. So all these parts somehow got totally destroyed. Oh, that one moves even more. So all 3 of these parts are destroyed, and yeah, I don't know what happened to the bearings that are supposed to be down in there. So that's why I like to check things on these trucks. I like to pull the ends off, even if there isn't a problem, just to see what's going on in there. I drove this truck maybe 100 miles or so, and everything seemed fine. But yeah, again, you never know what's happening in there. So be aware that even though the truck seems to be driving fine, you could have something burning up in there and not really know it. Although I guess the fluid, when you went to change the fluid, you'd probably be able to smell the burning smell from in there. And of course, if you check the hub temperature, which is the thing that I like to do, drive for a while, then go around with a laser thermometer and check all the hub ends temperature. And this one, of course, would be really, really hot, a lot hotter than the other 5. So anyway, I thought I'd make you a video and show what I found today on my truck, and to let you know that I have parts if you need some parts. And, you know, be careful when you buy a used truck, because you never know what's going to be in there. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.